What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. You know who it is. It's your boy John.
Fucking white belt slayer.
Oh, you know what? Funny is a boy Jonathan out in like what is he, Oklahoma or something. He hit me up and he's like, "This is your fault." And he had a fucking bunch of the great fucking
Alani's?
No, the Ghost energy drinks that I had. He had a few of those and he's like, "This is your fault."
I know you like to get wet, John.
Those shits are delicious, man.
They are good, but those like fucking tweak.
They don't make me like get all.
Those things fucking get me going wild.
That's crazy. There's some of them that do, because some of them are actually like pre-workouts. But I don't think that one's a pre-workout. But like some of the Ghost ones, they're actually like pre-workouts, which are fucking. Those will make you all fucking like. I don't know if the niacin or whatever makes you all like itchy and fucking. That's like when I take a pre-workout. That's when I know it's time to work out. When you're like, I really fucking gotta go work out now. Yeah, I like pre-workout though.
Let's get this off rip real quick.
No, we ain't gonna go there.
Why are you trying to wear a Fitbit right now, motherfucker?
Because I'm tracking shit.
What are you tracking?
I don't know. Just tracking
heart
rate.
You should be tracking like your VO2 max or whatever, dog. Get those lungs working, homie. Those lungs don't work.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's. Are you trying to be? You trying to be? The iWatch has it. So let's go back.
VO2
Apple Watch. Yes.
Those are the new ones.
I mean,
this is old. This is probably
like 4 years old.
Yeah, this is like 4 or 5 years old. It's like old. It's like, but the battery lasts for like a month.
I'm not done.
How long does your battery last?
I don't know. I don't wear it. Rihanna wears it.
Oh,
a day.
Yeah, that's the same as the Galaxy one.
Yeah, but you can, it's a phone.
Yeah.
That's just doing bullshit.
No, it does shit too.
You got Instagram on there?
No, I don't. Why would you use your watch to watch Instagram?
I'm saying.
Yeah, the Galaxy does the same thing.
Can you talk on it? Like,
yeah,
fucking beam me up, Scotty?
You can beam me up. Yeah, I think you can.
Let's go back, motherfucker. I saw you eat like 7 plates of food last night.
7 plates?
You're the one who ate them. I don't know why you're surprised.
7 plates. That's crazy.
You had 14 plates of food last night.
I had meat and 2 cookies.
Fried chicken does not count as quote unquote meat.
I only had 1 piece. I didn't finish the other piece. I only had 1 piece of fried chicken, and then I had all the other stuff Misa made,
and then cookies. I missed that.
I had 2 cookies. He made the steak and the chicken.
I had like a whole pepperoni bacon pizza. That shit was good.
He made that like steak and the chicken.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Dude, that shit was fire. That's why I was like, dude,
Misa's a good cook.
Yeah, sure. He's a good grill.
But let's talk about.
We don't have to talk about it.
Let's talk about the scale, dog. Where are you at right now?
I don't know. I haven't weighed myself.
Since when?
Since the last time.
So you're easily 235 right now.
235?
Yeah.
No. I'm probably like 230, 225.
How does it keep going up? You've been working out.
220. Yeah, I know.
You're not 220.
That you get heavier when you work out.
That is not true.
First, it is true. You build muscle. Muscle's heavier than fat. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Who
are you trying to trick? Who are you trying to trick?
Look.
Nah, I mean. Shit. All right, enough razzing. I have more proof of life that I can do jumping forward rolls.
I haven't seen it.
Talk to my boy Nick.
Our people haven't seen it.
Talk to my boy
Nick.
Our
people haven't seen it.
Hey, we'll go film an episode with James, but you got to come do the class.
Yeah, I got to make it out there. I want to.
Also, I'm supposed to hit at Juan this week. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Next week we'll get Juan on.
And we got to do the gi.
I'll have him do it.
We got to finish doing the gi review too.
That's gotta come out. They keep sending me emails.
Yeah, we got to do that. So
I like mine.
Yeah, I like the gi. I think it's good.
Just wish it fit you.
I just wish it was longer.
Well, but if your stomach wasn't so hemispherical,
it
would go further down.
Listen, Linda. We'll talk about this when we do the review. That's my only negative I think about that.
You know, the only thing I dislike about the gi is they stretch a little bit.
Really? I didn't mind.
Yeah.
I didn't feel mine stretching.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Anyway, trained this week because I hadn't seen you a single day this week.
I trained once.
Damn, homie. Yeah. 1 day?
1 day. Yeah. I mean, jiu-jitsu. I've been lifting every day. But
what happened to, this is just what I do. I go every day.
You know, sometimes you have to focus on family, and I spent a lot of time with the family this week. We did I built some pool chairs and took the family to see a movie and like hung out and shit.
That's like stuff. 3 hours over however many hours in a week.
Yeah, but it happened in that time. The class was happening.
What happened to I go to 3 classes a day every week?
Don't worry, it'll come back.
I'm not worried.
I'll be back on it.
Your shirt's worried.
My shirt
looking a little small.
It's getting a little, you know.
It looks nice and loose on your chest. Tight other places.
Hey, don't be making me feel I fucking me over
I
here.
am.
Fucking can't take this guy anywhere. Anyway, what'd you do this week?
I trained 3 days a week, every week. No,
Dude,
how many days did I start training? Monday. I caught a roll Wednesday.
Did you
Friday,
do that comp
Saturday.
class?
No.
Yeah, I didn't send the boys this week either. No, Nathan got caught in an armbar and didn't tap, so shit popped. So I'm like, so you fucking tap. Stop fucking competing in the fucking.
Why do you keep calling them
class.
boys? They're
'Cause
grown
boys.
men.
Because they're boys. My boys.
Are you a boy?
I am not, but they're my boys. That's how it is. Anyways, so I didn't send them this week to the comp class, but
I had other shit going on. I actually had to work on Friday.
that sucks. That's not fun.
I had to catch them. Usually I try not to roll in the mornings, but I had to catch a couple rolls on Friday too.
The printing kind of stuff, or
What did I do this week? I don't remember. Something. I had to do something. I was busy.
oh, you
on
watched the
Friday.
finals for the UFC.
I watched them just now before I came over. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They're okay.
I didn't watch all of them. I just watched.
Yes.
I just watched Tackett and Andy Varela
Tackett is just
and Mikey and Harrison Gabriel. So let's talk about Tackett and Andy Varela. I've been saying this for as long as we had this podcast. Andy is just not on that level.
I think he's good.
He's like the top of like the
Yeah,
hobbyists, like the top
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
hobbyists, or the bottom of the professionals.
Yeah. Like he's legit, but
Yeah.
he's not on Tackett's level. That's for sure.
No, well,
but you know what gets me is he talks so much shit. Like he's
yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like, so to the best of my knowledge, he's the only pro at his gym. It's his gym. He owns Ten Planet Las Vegas.
Oh,
So it's his gym. So he's the only pro there, and I think people come in and shit like that. But so he's definitely smashing all the hobbyists like us, and even like the kid hobbyists and shit. But he's just at the bottom level
Of the
of
pros.
professional jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I've never seen Andy win anything, I don't think.
I think he's won.
I think he's known because he won a fucking EBI.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think he's done like EBI
Years
one of
ago.
those. Yeah. It's not that he's bad. He's fucking good at jiu-jitsu. It's just he's not on that level.
I mean,
like Andrew Tackett is fucking
is he
a phenom.
He's good at jiu-jitsu compared to hobbyists.
Yeah.
But he's a good compared to professionals.
I think if you look at how long he lasts against a professional, obviously, like
It was like that fight was like 3 minutes.
yeah, but that's
Andrew
still,
passed his guard. As soon as Andrew made a connection, he passed his guard.
yeah.
And then from there, it was over. He did the thing you should never do: roll away from your opponent, unless you have like full send and you roll into the
All the
turtle.
way through, yeah.
You should never halfway roll like he did. And I think it was Eve Edwards, or I'm not sure.
Well, you should never
not
roll.
Eve, who was one of the commentators? The black fighter, UFC fighter, not Eve. He's on Dana White looking for a fight.
Oh yeah. I forgot his name.
Yeah, but so he's talking about it. He's like, he's giving him his back right now. And then Andrew rolls him.
Well, not only that, that's the wrong person to give your back to.
Yeah, Andrew rolls him, puts the body triangle in, then it was just over. Hits
Yeah.
him with what they're calling the tackatine or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's so he's doing an arm in darce from the back, or a darce from the back, and the rotolotine is anaconda from the back.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one is an anaconda, one's a darce. It's the exact same thing.
That's so crazy. You can hit that. I wonder if his arm.
I've tried to hit that so many
but I think
fucking
arm
times.
length matters too, like who
Oh,
you're
for
rolling
sure.
with.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like
for
if
sure.
you can't
I can
get,
probably do it to a kid.
yeah. Well, that's like the rear naked choke yesterday that we seen in the UFC. He had the rear naked choke, but he couldn't close it behind his head, and he grabbed his own head like this. And I thought that was an interesting modification.
Yeah, the 125ers.
Yeah, because he put his head super close,
Yeah.
and then he grabbed his own head.
Omar does that shit.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh.
I do it too. Not for rear naked, but I do it for all kinds of shit. Like
Yeah, for like a loop choke or like I'll use that, but I've never seen it done in a rear naked choke where he like grabs it and puts his hand in the back of his head.
it's the same idea. Like
Same
anytime
concept, yeah.
I go like X and I can't like I think they're gonna get away,
You
I
trap the
grab
leg.
the back of my head.
Yeah.
So now the only thing you do is pull your leg out.
Yeah.
But you can't hook it over or anything
Yeah.
like that. So I'll play like this. I do a bunch of shit like
Yeah,
that.
but I'm talking about for like a rear naked specifically.
But it's the same idea. It's just keeping your hand tight.
Yeah, same concept.
That I think that's how you grow as
The concepts.
as a martial artist. Is like, okay, you learn some position. Like Omar always showed. What does he show the behind the head one from? Armbar?
No, it's a loop choke from the back, where you have it and then you trap the arm, or even from the bow and arrow. You have the
Bow and
leg
arrow,
too.
that's the one he
Ooh.
does. He does bow and arrow
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But it's like you can take that concept to
It's a
any
concept,
position
yeah.
where you need more leverage.
Yeah. To reach farther back behind your own head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. It was interesting. But yeah, Andrew Tackett is just, and then like we were talking about yesterday that he's moving to Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's where Berto trains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
cool.
I wonder if he's going to try to fight, which I don't think would be a good idea for him.
No. I think he should stick to jiu-jitsu.
Well, his main training partner is Cody Steele, in the UFC now, but he also got beat up his last fight. His first fight in the UFC, he lost, but he's good. But he's just not on that level yet. I mean, but he's a lower level. He's an entry level UFC fighter, so he'll do good down there.
Is Andrew signed exclusively to the UFC for jiu-jitsu?
I would assume so.
I feel like that's a bad move.
Yeah.
Because they're not paying them
probably 10, 20 grand to do those fights.
Yeah, but I mean, how many are they going to throw at you a year? I guess the good thing is, as a jiu-jitsu athlete, you can compete more often than fighters.
Yeah.
So
if they compete every weekend.
Yeah, you can. If UFC really throws this out and does these more frequently, you have the potential to make some decent money.
I think they've already set up the next one. The next one's supposed to be Gordon versus coaching against Nikki.
That'll be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That means Gordon's coming out of retirement for that?
Yeah, but Gordon, I bet, would try to get them to change the rules because he's not going to want to fight Nikki in 3 5-minute rounds. I think Gordon.
As big as Gordon is,
but
I don't think he has the pull to make UFC
Yeah, probably not. But it's like, man, that's going to be a decision. I think Gordon beats him in a decision.
Decision.
Yeah, because I don't
think so. I think Gordon's going to smash him.
Gordon could set up a win in less than 5 minutes, but Gordon's whole game plan usually is
stall you out, make you tired. Yeah, but I mean, look at.
I mean, when he fucked him up last time, he beat him in 2 minutes.
Yeah, but look at Nikki. Nikki went against what's his name?
Victor
Hugo.
Yeah, but that went to overtime.
Yeah, but look at the work that Gordon did to Victor Hugo. He made Victor Hugo look like a fucking.
But that was also Victor Hugo 4 years ago.
Yeah,
that was
that is enough.
That was Gordon 4 years ago, and then in Nikki's defense, that was Nikki 3 years ago when he leg locked him.
Yeah,
when he heel hook him or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, they've all grown.
They've all grown. But has Gordon grown?
That's a good question. We don't know.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say that he hasn't, but it's also hard to say that he has because he doesn't even look like he's on the mats.
He is teaching more, apparently, right?
The school's not open yet, I don't think.
Yeah, but he's still teaching the Roca stuff.
Mm.
Well,
he looks bad. I mean, for if you look at ADCC 23,
yeah, he doesn't look that.
If you look at ADCC or 21, the first one I went to, dude, he looks like superhuman.
Yeah, he looks like Gordon. Yeah, he doesn't look like that.
And then even last ADCC, he looked okay, and now he looks terrible. Yeah. He looks like he has cancer.
Looks like he has something.
Yeah,
like stomach problems.
I mean, they're that bad.
Little
tummy ache.
Little tummy ache.
He's got a tummy ache. I think fucking Craig fucks him up.
I don't think so.
Let's see how Craig does against.
Dude, Craig is another level though too.
Against Gable.
Craig is just.
If Craig breaks off Gable, we'll see. Because I would think
that's a world class.
I would think
wrestler,
that Gable's stronger.
He's bigger.
But Gordon beat up Gable.
No. But compared to Craig.
Yeah. He's way bigger.
He's bigger than Craig. But Craig is like right there with Gordon though. Like he's just never hit that.
He's very close.
He's like when you watch him compete with other world athletes, like world class fucking jiu-jitsu people, he makes him look like. But nothing.
he hasn't fought Gordon
long time since that EBI or whatever when he almost caught him in the armbar.
When he armbarred him.
Yeah, when he did.
Gordon let shit pop.
Yeah,
that was when they were on the same team.
Yeah.
Or maybe right before they were on the same team. But yeah, so you would think Gordon's gotten better, but you'd also think Craig's gotten better because Craig always did the one weight class below.
I think Craig is probably just good because he's good, but I don't see him training. He says he doesn't even train.
Yeah, but then he
teaches.
Goes. Yeah, but they say every time he just goes to those seminars, and I think he rolls a little bit with people.
I think he rolls with everybody.
No, but I mean when he's places like things are not showing, but he goes back to B team, which is a very high level room, and he breaks everyone off. Like they want him to come back, and then they're like, we can't wait for him to leave
because he just fucks everyone up.
Just bullies everyone.
Yeah. I was thinking it's funny. There was this one where he was talking about how when he goes places and people try to like
Go hard on him.
go hard at him and he fucking breaks their legs and
Yeah.
ankles because he's just like, I'm not gonna let you hurt me. So, you know, I'm like, that's true. I can imagine that's.
I can't let you get close.
I can't let you get close. Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. That'd be if they can sign that with Gordon and Nikki, that would be cool.
I think it's already done.
Isn't it? The contract.
I keep hearing about it, and like if you listen to the Simple Man podcast, they were like, "Can we talk about it yet?" And he's like, "Not yet."
The other one was Mikey versus
Harrison Gabriel.
Yeah, everyone was saying I don't know, like he was good, but
Harrison should never have fought.
Yeah,
Mikey,
that was the conversation.
But Mikey didn't look that great.
Yeah, he was fighting for those legs.
It took him three rounds to finish it.
Yeah,
which may have been quicker if it was one continuous round. But Mikey,
well, he was because he was saved. He was saved off that first round.
Yeah,
because he was in deep.
He was in deep, but he kept.
I think if the time kept going, he would eventually caught the leg at that point, and he got saved by the time. I think he got saved by the time in the first round.
Yeah.
Second round, I think Mikey struggled more. But the crazy thing is, even though his coach, not Mikey's coaches, but the other coaches were like, "Don't let him get to your legs." There was nothing he could do to stop Mikey from getting his legs.
Yeah.
Did he finish it? No, but he was like, he kept getting in there.
Yeah. It's hard to say that there's nothing that he could do being an amateur grappler. But Mikey put his foot up, and they kept saying Mikey's making a leg connection. He's not.
No, he
wants
wasn't.
him to take him down because of the rules.
I the same thing. I was wondering. I was like, what are you fucking talking about?
Gordon did the same thing against Nikki.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
the rules.
I was like, what do you mean he's making a leg connection? I was like, who's fucking idiots?
Harrison should have went body lock or double unders to take him down, so that when he took him down, because Mikey wanted to be on the ground.
Yeah,
Mikey wasn't.
He didn't want to be on top. When he was on top, he didn't look good.
Yeah, well, Mikey wasn't going to wrestle with him, so he would have sat down from a double unders or a body lock, like a standing body lock or double unders, and then you would sit down, body lock or double unders, either pass the legs or in the guard, where at least you have the chance to make a chest and chest connection. Pass the guard and try to smash.
Yeah, I agree.
But all these fucking little dudes, they don't play smash.
Yeah.
They're like,
they want to pull guard and jump around, and
it's like, how about you play smash?
Yeah. I was telling you I was watching that video about this is purple belt that trains judo, and he had that judo black belt go and train. One of the things he was mentioning, and I don't know why I'm sure you might have thought about this, I didn't think about it before, is
I've thought about it.
He was saying in jiu-jitsu, a lot of people pull guard because there's no, like, the points you get for a takedown are not worth it.
There's no
it's
benefit.
Like 2 fucking points. Why am I going to go for 2 points? Let me just pull guard and, like, be in a position where I'm more dominant, where my game's more dominant.
What belt is he in judo?
That guy is a white belt in judo.
So he probably also trains judo at a school that doesn't do newaza.
He doesn't. Oh no, the black belt is he's like an Olympic guy. Or
no, the guy
no, he doesn't really train judo. He just goes.
Oh.
He like travels around.
Yeah, that's because he doesn't understand the rules.
Like a traveling judo guy.
So I've thought about that a lot, and I think we talked about it on one of the podcasts. It's not a huge advantage just spending all the energy to get the 2, right?
Yeah.
Even I was talking to Malachi about this the other day. Is him and Misa were practicing some throw, and Malachi like threw him across like a whole mat, and he didn't. It's like, okay, yeah, you got to throw, but if Misa would have popped up, he wouldn't even got the 2.
Yeah, he would have got the 2.
So he's because you got to control him.
I do think that in your division and like the heavyweight, like super heavy or whatever, ultra division, whatever.
What do you mean my division, bitch? You're in fucking ultra right now too, motherfucker.
Anyways, I think takedowns matter more.
They do
because.
They matter in every division, but
more so in those divisions because a lot of times that's the points that end up winning the match because the bigger guys tend to like do a lot of pressure and like you can't get out of side control, but they don't go for like a lot of arm bars and like finishes, right? And so I think
it's all chokes mostly.
Yeah, mostly chokes. Yeah, so I think in that division takedowns matter because there's not as big as a lot of times there's not as big as a back and forth, and so those 2 points that you give for the takedown really could make the difference between winning and losing. Where in the lower divisions, where they're like super lightweight, they're fucking constantly going back and forth, flipping, coming back up, taking, doing sweeps and stuff like that. And so the points always fluctuate a bit more than they do when.
So are we talking about professional jiu-jitsu?
No, not professional.
Amateur.
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah, professional is different.
I think you're correct about the heavier divisions. But I think where you're wrong is that people don't know how to capitalize on the throws.
Yeah.
So, like, if you when I trained at UCR, none of them did Nawaza. So they would hit a throw, and that's it.
Yeah.
So if you take that person into a jiu-jitsu tournament,
They're
they're
not
going to
gonna
hit
do
a
good.
throw, and they're not capitalizing on it.
Yeah.
And this is what I've experienced personally. I got thrown by a green belt in judo who's a white belt in jiu-jitsu.
Uh-huh.
He threw me and put me in Kesagatami, a scarf hold, and tapped me from there.
Yeah.
Legit tapped me, where I was like, oh, fuck. Because when you get thrown...
You trains Nawaza right after.
But yeah, if you practice the second part of judo, Nawaza, or what we call jiu-jitsu, if you practice that, you know what to do.
So do a lot of schools not do both at the same time?
99% of judo schools don't.
Why?
Because it's not sport. Judo is a sport. It's not Olympic. It's not in the Olympics to do Nawaza.
Oh, it's not.
No, you only have like 2 seconds.
Oh.
It's like maybe it's less than 30, and it's more. It's like more than 5.
So do like the smaller judo organizations?
Only people. So I recently found out that there's freestyle tournaments and there's Kosen tournaments. That's
The
jiu-jitsu.
freestyle tournaments.
Freestyle.
basically
It's
jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu. It is jiu-jitsu.
Huh.
But guys focus on standing up because you can win with the ippon
Mm-hmm.
versus you can't win in jiu-jitsu with ippon.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a jiu-jitsu tournament with modified rules, right? So, but when you throw someone and you hit the ground, that second that you hit the
You
ground,
should be moving to the.
there's the person who hits the ground is stunned almost, and then this other person who's throwing has the
It's like a
opportunity to get,
flashbang. They're like, boom,
yeah,
you're
to
like,
get
oh.
into a crazy position. That happened to me the other day when I was rolling with Malachi. Malachi hit me with something and just was immediately past the guard, immediately in side control. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then, like, I'm defending, and then I disrespected the fuck out of his armbar, and he armbarred me. But he'll never, ever armbar me again. Ever. Yeah, so, like, the throw is the 2 plus the advantage to the next position.
Yeah, to the next position.
Right?
'Cause
Because
yeah,
if I blast you with, like, especially, like, Osoto, which is one I'm mostly working on now. If I hit Osoto on you, I land in side control.
Yeah.
And I land 100% on top of you.
Yeah.
I'm tripping you and I'm falling on top of you. So I get the 2 and I get side control. So now I'm up, 5?
Yeah.
Passing's 3, right?
I don't know if you get.
100% you get passed. You're past the guard.
Yeah, but you're not.
You don't have to be in a guard position to get the points. You have to be past the legs.
Oh, then that'd be 5 points.
Because I throw and then I land in side control, right? So I'm 5. And then it's like, okay, but I've done this more than once. When I've hit a Soto and you crush someone, they tap because they get all the wind taken out of them. So it's like
throw and then you fall on.
Yeah, because they boom, and then I'm in the you know what I mean? But so it doesn't happen to bigger guys as much. But now I'm past. And like side control it's hard to get out of.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the best position against me is probably if I mount you. I'm so easy to get rolled, whatever. But when I hit side control, I don't play like a perpendicular just side control. As soon as I feel you moving where I lose pressure, I go to north-south.
Yeah, same here.
And then I trap your arms.
Yep.
And then if you start to win that position, if you start or getting out of the position, I go back to side control.
Yep.
I just move back and forth until you're dead, until you give me a submission.
Yep. It's the same way I play.
Yeah.
I don't go fight. Yeah. I go straight to north-south.
But it's also I'm not married to any position. I'm not married to any grip. I want the next
play
one.
Loose.
I just want the next one because especially like say you go against like Josue, he's strong as fuck.
Yeah.
And he can push me off of him in side control, but he's not overhead pressing me.
Yeah.
He can't overhead press me. And then when he pushes me off side control, I go north south. He starts to overhead press me. I go back to side control, but I don't go to side control. I go to knee on belly.
So why don't you force him to hold your weight?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, he does it all the time. Like as I'm going from the side control to north south, I just lean on him.
Yeah.
And he's fucking.
Yeah.
Everybody does it.
Yeah.
And it's like now you've gassed your arms out.
Yep.
And then when I come back to side control, it's knee on belly.
Yeah.
And then I'm taking a little bit of your breath away, and I'm fighting the neck, and you're panicking, and I go back and I go. I don't even try. If I'm winning a round, I don't even try to submit someone until the 4-minute mark.
That's me too.
At the 4-minute mark, then I start to sink it in.
That's funny.
Because I don't need 10 submissions in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm happy with one.
I want one.
Yeah, I'm happy with the one.
Because I'm training to win at a tournament, right? And it's like I'm not great at tournaments, but
well, I think that's the same in our game. Is that where the goal is to tire that person out, and make them give us the submission, whether it's like going back and forth from side control to north south, and you're constantly carrying my weight. I just want you tired the whole time. I want you carrying my weight the whole time, and so then eventually you're gonna fucking mess up.
You're
just gonna give me a position where I can like, all right, now I can get a choke.
I've been there where like I'm getting fucking smashed. I'm like, just take my arm.
Just take it.
Just take it.
Yeah. It's interesting. But yeah, I don't think that he should have been competing against Mikey. That dude was not on.
Yeah,
Mikey's
the best thing
level.
he's ever won is pants.
Yeah, he was not on Mikey's level.
No.
But I think it was like the first.
But Mikey didn't look good, man.
It's their first event, and they were just trying to build.
It was
something.
supposed to be someone else, and then they didn't want to do the exclusivity.
Smart.
Yeah,
I think even Craig Jones was talking about that. How stupid it would be.
Well, they tried to get Craig Jones to coach too, but then he was going to be able to do CJI. Then he turned it down for whatever reason, and then they took away the ability to do CJI from all their athletes.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
Why would anyone sign up for that?
Well, they want the exclusivity, but it's like the rising tide rise all ships. So if you have like Andrew Tackett on UFC and he's exclusive, but you allow him to do CJI and he blows up at CJI, it just makes him bigger when he goes back to UFC.
I'm wondering if those caliber competitors are gonna have open contracts.
No, they try because I think they signed Nikki to an exclusive too.
I mean,
So,
I get it from like a perspective of you want to be and say you're a UFC, fighter or whatever. You're a UFC, whatever. So I get that because a lot of these guys they're young and that's what they grew up with watching UFC, and UFC was like the pinnacle of combat, right? Sports. And so to be able to have that,
I mean, it still is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
One championship is pretty fucking.
They already
big
got
too.
out of MMA.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, they were.
They were big.
So there's that. It's kind of like ADCC, right? If you grew up in jiu-jitsu, if you're like that's your Olympics, and you see ADCC as more than just competition. It's like this is the cream of the crop. I think that's what
it wasn't the cream of the crop until 2021. ADCC was just a thing.
It was pretty big before that.
No, it wasn't. You ever watch the old ones? They're doing them like in fucking.
Oh yeah, middle of nothing.
They're doing them like
gyms
in,
and shit.
Yeah, but like in what do they call them? Like the conference rooms at a Marriott fucking Courtyard Inn and shit, and there's nobody watching. So the reason ADCC is so big is because of fucking Mo. Mo made it as big as it because when he did the West Coast Trials in 2018 or whatever, he did it at the Anaheim Convention Center and blew it the fuck up and put like $1 million of his own money into it and lost it all. Mm-hmm. But just to try to grow it to a bigger thing.
Event.
Then it got to the point where it was at Thomas and Mack, not sold out. They're lying about that. But there were still at least 10,000 people there, and it was a crazy fucking event. Then they moved it to the T-Mobile, which also was not sold out. They lied about that. They blew it up even fucking bigger, right? On an entertainment scale. Value. Yeah, on an entertainment value. So now it has become like an Olympic style sport.
But it's always been known as the Olympic.
Yeah, but even then, to go back to being a judo stan, you don't just qualify for the Olympics in judo.
Yeah.
It takes 4 years to qualify. The reason the Americans don't have a good team is because there's no money in judo, and you have to travel around the world in order to qualify for the Olympics.
Yeah.
In fucking ADCC, you win some bullshit fucking open.
I've heard that
if you're smart, if you can get a European passport and you can do the European fucking trials and you're an American jiu-jitsu person, you're probably going to win.
I've heard that wrestling is having problems now. In a similar stance that wrestling is having those problems where the money isn't there, people don't want to compete because there's no money.
Wrestling. Our battery died, so I'll try to get on the same train of thought. But like wrestling will change your life, which people don't realize. Like everybody's hurt.
Yeah.
Everybody that fucking it's like high school football. How many people have blew out their ACLs in high school football? Yeah. Wrestling's the same way. There should be money in the sport. The problem is what's happening with like the NIL. Do you know about that?
Mm-mm.
NIL's a college division like NCAA or whatever. Mm-hmm. But NIL, they allow the athletes to get paid, at least for football. So now you got these guys who are going in, like these quarterbacks, before they graduate college, getting like $20 million deals. And they're not just playing that hard because they're like, I can just play college and retire. Mm-hmm. Right?
They don't have to make it to the next level.
They don't need to make it to the next level to get the money, which is hard to say what is better. But if you look at like these football players, these athletes that play football, they start when they're 4 or 5. By the time they get to college, they've already been playing 15 years. And let's say you finish college, you play all 4 years in college, you're 19, 20 years into a...
And I think a lot of the problem there too is like, you get pushed into it as a kid, unless you're like truly passionate about the sport. By the time you're 19,
Yeah.
you're probably done with it. You're like, I'm fucking tired
Yeah,
of doing
but
this.
you've
life
had a
has
job
been
for 14
Yeah,
years.
yeah, your whole life
Yeah.
has been that.
If
And
you-
same with wrestlers. Like you see little kids wrestling, and then by the time they get to high school, and they're fucking savages, and they're number 1 in the state, number 2 in the state. Unless they're passionate about it, you see them fall off, and they're just
Yeah.
like, I don't want to do this anymore. And it sucks to see that happen, but it's part of it. Does definitely happen.
Do you remember Shannon? He was a skinny blue belt. I rolled with him the other day. He was at Roger Luis's academy. Shannon was a 2-time state champion wrestler.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, savage. And he rolled with us for a while, but now he hasn't been he hasn't been training because like he bought a house and did some shit, so he's focused on just getting his money up. But I mean, same thing. He's like, I love wrestling, but I don't do it anymore. I think he's trying to coach high school this year, but he wrestled his entire life up to high school, and then it was just like, well, what do I do after this?
Yeah,
he couldn't make it.
Because there's no path unless you go UFC.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't go to college, but yeah, he was like a 2-time state champion, I believe. Shannon's a savage. And you ever wrestle with him? I think I remember him. He was good. And then like he was at Rogers Academy a couple weeks ago and I did the open mat. It's like on Memorial Day or whatever. And like, you know, a lot of those guys there wrestle, and I was like, Shannon, wrestle with these fools. And he's just like wrestling with these motherfuckers. Everyone kind of was like surprised. I was like, yeah, he's a 1 or 2. I think he's a 2-time state champion wrestler. It's like, or like Sonny.
That's something that
kid Sonny that was training with us a little bit. He's a 1 or 2-time state champion, just breaking everyone off.
I think that's something that wrestling gives a lot of people though. Like, if you wrestled through high school, even if you're like mediocre, like you bring a different level to jiu-jitsu. Like, you have a huge advantage.
Yeah.
If you can put that away for a little bit and focus on jiu-jitsu, and then once you learn some jiu-jitsu, then bring that back in and incorporate it together, then you have really good chance of being fucking really high level. But I think what happens, a lot of people come in with their wrestling, and they continue to try to use their wrestling against jiu-jitsu, and they don't realize, like, hey, I need to focus on jiu-jitsu. I need to learn jiu-jitsu. And then,
well, it's not wrestling, right? It's
right.
jiu-jitsu, right? It's the same thing with judo. It's like the wrestling and judo are more closely paired together, because you can blast someone on a takedown and pin them and win in wrestling. The same thing with judo, right? And most of the throws are very similar, right? So like almost all the throws you do in judo, you do in wrestling too. They're all very similar throws. Like, so the only difference is you don't have a gi, right? But they do the same movements, the same throws. They do everything the same.
Some of them, not everyone, unfortunately, uses. I see a lot of, because I've gone to a lot of, at least at high school level, I don't see a lot of judo being used unless there's someone that's like.
But that's because the teachers aren't teaching.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, I'm not saying that wrestlers should use judo.
Right.
I'm saying it's the same sport, just gi and no gi.
Yeah.
It's the same sport.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, during class, the judo class, we were learning uranagi, which is literally just a fucking suplex. It's a more pretty suplex, but it's a suplex. Because the rules are different in judo, you can't fucking wrist control and lift into a suplex. You got to grab the gi and lift them into a suplex. But it's literally the same fucking move. So it's like they're the same sport. It's like judo is wrestling's not gay brother.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wearing a singlet. That's for fucking sure.
What about the fights last night?
They were pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew Ilya was going to win. I thought that was just a foregone conclusion.
I was surprised that he didn't manage his distance. Like, that's what I was understanding, because he was so much longer.
He doesn't fight long though, from what I can remember.
That's the thing. I was like watching it. I'm like, you can't fight up close with someone when you have long arms like that, and especially that when the other opponent has shorter limbs. Like, they need to be in close. You should be managing distance and fighting farther away, and like using your leg kicks and stuff like that. And he would just come right into him, and I'm like, that's not for you, man.
So is John a student of the game or no?
What?
How much do you know about Charles Oliveira?
Enough that he was not. He went through a huge phase of giving up and quitting, and he had some changes in his life and decided, fuck this, and just went off the fucking chain and decided, I'm not quitting anymore.
So you know the very surface level of Charles Oliveira. Okay.
Yes.
So Charles Oliveira has the most submissions in the UFC.
Yes.
How do you think you get submissions?
Getting in close.
And making connections.
Takedowns.
So his whole game is getting past punches to get
Yes.
close to take people down and submit them.
But you need.
How am I going to get close when I'm staying away, striking with you from a distance? Yes, you win the striking exchanges.
No,
but he's not a striker.
But you need to wait for the. You got to make those opportunities for when they start throwing at you, and then you start going under their throws and going for takedowns and stuff like that. The thing I saw, it was so different. Like, it's not like he had fights. It's not like he had. He was like a. It was like their body types were so completely different. It was completely mismatched.
So Charles Oliveira was a champion at 155. Right. I think when he became the champion or interim champion, he was like on an 11-fight win streak. I think almost all those were submissions. None of them were striking based. His entire game is
But he was striking last night.
In the beginning, he was striking, and then he started eating punches.
Yeah, but he was striking from.
But did you see what happened?
A close distance.
Even in the beginning, he was striking from a distance.
Yeah.
Ilya was able to close the distance on him.
Mm-hmm.
So you're dealing with two different things. Someone who's able to get past your strikes easily, and then you can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to stand on the outside and strike with him." He's getting inside, and he has more power.
Yeah, I think he should have used more leg kicks.
Well, let me finish. He's on the outside striking, whether he's striking with his hands or his legs. Ilya was able to get in and close the distance and hit him.
Okay.
Right? So his outside striking was not working.
Okay.
So then what do you do when something doesn't work? You go back to your A1, which is you closing the distance and taking him down.
Yeah, but he wasn't taking him down.
He did.
Distance.
He went on the inside and took him down.
No, but in the last round.
No, it was the first round. The whole fight happened less than 5 minutes. It was one round.
Oh, well.
So he was able to get in on Ilya and start to take the takedown, and Ilya knocked him the fuck out. He wouldn't.
If you rewatch those last 20 seconds or whatever, he was in the pocket fighting with him instead of going for takedowns. He didn't go for a takedown then. He was in there.
So you think he should be able to just go in there and grab him while someone's punching you?
No, of course not. But he wasn't going for a takedown.
You are couch. What is it? What do they call it? He wasn't fucking lazy boy quarterback. What do they call it? Couch quarterback? You're a Monday morning quarterback?
He wasn't going for a takedown. That's all I'm saying.
He was in there striking to get to a takedown because his takedowns happen where? On the fence.
He wasn't in the fence. He
was trying to get to the fence.
He was in the middle of the ring.
How do you get to the fence?
You can walk back and make him chase you to the fence.
Is Ilya going to chase him?
Yes, he would have.
Forward fighter?
Yes, he would have.
He would have took him to the fence, and then magically he starts striking with him, reverses the position, then pins him against the fence, and then takes him down.
If you need to get him to the fence. How do you do
that when someone is beating your ass?
I'm not saying he wasn't getting his ass beat.
Yeah, but he was getting his ass beat.
I thought he was doing okay for a little bit. Okay.
The first 45 seconds when he was able to take when he was able to do the takedown.
Yeah. But I just think he should have been fighting more at a distance. It was.
It's easy to say, hey, you should fight at a distance. It's easy to say that. But when you're concussed, you don't think he was concussed after getting knocked, after getting punched? Remember his face was bleeding? How was his face bleeding? He either got elbowed or headbutted.
I think he got headbutted.
Enough probably to be concussed.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't take much for a face to get cut.
But how much fucking brain damage does he have already?
Yeah, that's different.
Do you remember when fucking Islam punched him and dropped him?
Yeah.
Then choked him?
But that's, I don't know. I think you should just.
You're just saying white belt level strategy, which is there's nothing wrong with what you're saying. You are correct, but you're not correct in this instance.
I think he should have played out longer distance and gone to the takedown.
How?
What do you mean how?
Explain how you play.
You explain how he's going to fight.
This is how he wanted to fight because you saw it happen. It happened in the first 45 seconds. He was able to get close to Ilya and take him down because Ilya wasn't ready for him to be striking at a distance, come in, trap him against a cage, and take him down. He wasn't ready. Ilya instantly adjusted to that and said, hey, your strikes aren't shit. I'm stronger than you.
Definitely was stronger than him.
I'm as good as a grappler as him. Mm-hmm. He fucking put him in the crucifix. He crucifixed him.
Yeah.
Then he got up because the only reason that exchange ended is Ilya misstepped. Charles went for a leg lock. He got out of the leg lock, got back up and stood up. Charles tried to punch on the outside. He couldn't. Tried to go inside and was forced to strike with him inside because he wasn't able to get a takedown.
He had a couple kicks in there that I thought he could have kept landing because he wasn't even checking them either. He didn't check any of his kicks.
Maybe his kicks didn't bother him.
Maybe, but you keep going for them. Eventually, they're going to fucking bother you. I just think there was more of a game plan that could have happened. And coming in close with someone that powerful is never a good fucking thing. So
if you were in Charles' corner, you said, fuck it. Play as far away from you as you can.
I would have told him to use more leg kicks.
Okay, have you ever seen Charles hit a bag?
I'm just saying.
No, I'm asking. Have you ever seen Charles hit a bag?
No.
Maybe his kicks aren't strong from far away. They're only good close.
Okay, then.
Or maybe his power only exists in 1 foot. Maybe he doesn't have power at the end of the punches.
That doesn't take away from the strategy. Eventually, a leg kick is going to fucking hurt.
Ask Nate Diaz about that. Nate Diaz got his leg basically broken by fucking the black English dude and was still able to fucking drop him in the final round.
That's Nate Diaz.
He didn't check a single fucking kick.
You keep going. Better than what it would have been better than what happened. Getting knocked out.
Do you think Elia was not going to knock him out?
No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that dude was fucking.
That was a foregone conclusion.
The difference in power is just insane.
You know who else played outside on fucking Elia and he still got knocked out? Max Holloway, same body type.
Well, he's not as tall. Max Holloway.
Charles and Max are like the same size.
Really?
Yes.
I feel like Charles is taller,
No,
longer.
Max is huge.
I never seen.
They're both like 6 foot or 6'1".
Really?
Yes.
What? I thought Max Holloway was way smaller for some reason. He seems small.
Do you know who Max Holloway is?
Yeah, and he seems smaller.
Where's he from?
I don't know where the fuck he's from.
You don't know who Max Holloway is. Max Holloway's a giant dude. He's bigger than
big.
everybody at 145. It was one of the reasons he was so successful because he was able to play outside. But he has power on the outside.
His striking is
Yes.
Yeah.
Charles does not have power.
No.
I think he's dropped a couple people, but he doesn't have power.
I don't know. Either way, it was a fucking crazy fight.
Yeah, he's a grappler.
It was a wild fight.
Yeah. For the 3 minutes it
Yeah,
lasted.
it was a quick knockout.
Yeah, I saw that. Charles has probably a shit ton of brain damage. He's been fucking dropped. He's been dropped in almost every fight he's been in. But he's able to like clear the cobwebs enough to do jiu-jitsu against guys who don't have a level of jiu-jitsu that he has, right? So it's like it's so easy to say, oh, he should have stayed in the back and just leg kicked him and leg kicked him and leg kicked him. But maybe the leg kicks weren't powerful enough to stop Elia.
But it does. In the end, it would have been better than what happened.
It would have been the same conclusion.
I don't know. We don't know.
We don't know, but if you look at the two fighters progress through their careers so far, it would have been the same conclusion, right?
I can see that train of thought with how far along he is in his career.
Also,
how many times he's been knocked out.
Also, have you ever seen Charles cut weight?
It's a struggle.
It's very hard for him to get to 55.
Yeah.
So maybe he's like, all I have is one round.
Yeah, no nutrition. Yeah.
I have one round.
Yeah.
I got to do what I can do in one round.
Possibly.
And my best way to
take him
finish
down.
is to get close. To strike my way to the inside and get
I just
close.
think that was a bad decision with that opponent.
But if he only has one round in him, how do you stay on the outside and fight?
There's no way you're in the championship fucking of the UFC and that be like I have one
all
round.
The time.
You're not making the championship and only have one round. Oh, you're gonna have a great cardio for all 5 rounds? Probably not. But
do you know we're back? Our shit overheated again. John's wrong. We'll continue this argument on another day.
Camera keeps overheating, so we're gonna leave it at that. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff.
I'm about to start a GoFundMe so we can get a new camera.
Fucking camera. You know, it sucks. It's a good camera. It just
it's
overheats.
An expensive ass camera.
It is, and it just overheats. Like, I mean, it's warm, but
I'm not sweating.
I'm not sweating, but like for a camera to overheat in this, I don't know. I wouldn't expect it. And it's a good brand, so who knows? Anyways, hit like, share, all that other good stuff. Peace.
Go train judo.